I am presenting my capstone research findings as structured by the course Market and Consumer Research Analysis, PBR 560-0, offered at Full Sail University. This presentation is a compilation and assessment of published academic research and my survey findings to support and direct the social media strategy I am developing for my capstone client. My client is Jabir Rasul. A few years ago, I noticed a change in Rasul's normal Facebook postings. I observed beautiful posts of dishes and meals that he was learning to prepare. During a meeting with him on other business, he told me of his love for cooking and revealed that he had always wanted to be a chef. And in fact, he was in a culinary arts program in North Carolina at that time. After that program was completed, he continued his education to include certification as a baking and pastry chef. He has since completed that program and is currently participating in an event planning certification, all while actively employed as a chef. He first worked at Winthrop College in Spartanburg, South Carolina as a chef, where he really gained a lot of experience in cooking for extremely large audiences. And then he moved on, and it's where he's currently employed with Aramac in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the crowds can be even larger that he's serving food to and preparing food for, as well as the fact that it is a more diverse crowd. It is his intention to run a successful catering and event company called Mashari's, which is his only daughter's name, in hopes that it will become a catalyst for traditional restaurant ownership. When I first met with Chef Rasul regarding his participation in this project, I realized that he had no social media presence for his company. In fact, he was still contemplating which name out of two possibilities he would use. The only reason that I knew his attractively staged meal photographs were meant to inspire consumer engagement is because he told me directly. I understood from this initial point of contact with Rasul that 1, there were no existing platforms developed to help him reach his target market, and 2, Rasul had no experience in effective social media marketing. The purpose of my primary research was to identify the demographic comparisons between broad research findings and the findings from the locality surrounding Rasul's primary service area. I also wanted to assess the consumer's behaviors related to online food ordering. Another purpose was to evaluate consumer allegiance to specific catering companies in this locality, in addition to determining consumer values regarding the catering industry at large. The ultimate goal is to understand current social media behaviors and expectations and discover new possible content approaches to maintain a high engagement level. My primary research was based on the target audience demographics. Because Mashari's is building up a responsive social media following, the focus age group is a segment of millennials that range in age from 28 to 37 years old. This demographic engages in internet commerce. They have ambitions and ambitious desires for economic improvement. They are also, more specifically, Columbia, South Carolina residents and residents of neighboring cities and towns. When I look at this demographic, I have to consider the psychographics. The psychographics suggest that this age group does not trust in direct advertising. They really value social connections. They have a high value of diversity, and they are strong proponents of career advancement. They also have a high usage of digital devices for communication opportunities on a daily basis. In my secondary research, I centered my attention on the social media activity of Jabir Rasul and his catering competitors. Jabir has a Facebook following of 3,311 Facebook friends on his personal account. His Facebook fan page currently has a following of 0. His competitor's social media presence consists of a fan page where pictures of food, full plates, certain dishes, venues are posted. There really is a lacking of significant content. Most of the posts are outdated, and there's no call to action in their messages. In this section of the presentation, I will be discussing the recruitment, procedure, and analysis of my survey research. As survey administrator, I created an online survey and posted it on my Facebook page. I posted the same survey on my LinkedIn page. There was a call out for voluntary anonymous participation. The survey restrictions requested that the participants be Columbia residents or those who participate in business and social events in the Columbia area. My primary research model was the grounded theory research approach, which collects absolute data by way of specific response. There was also an influence of social constructivism, which curates data based on participant experience. Altogether, there were 10 questions on the survey. 7 were multiple choice questions. 1 was a discussion question. 1 was a yes or no answer question. And 1 was a select all that apply question. Altogether, there were 18 participants. The administrator, that would be me, observed only 25% of participants were within the age demographic. Otherwise, it was conducted uneventfully. I depended on my survey host for my analysis. I used Survey Hero, which collects the data and posts the reviews and statistical and graphical displays of the responses. There were 68 views and 18 responses. There was statistical significance with reference to the likelihood of having skewed participation of a high age range of participants because they were my social media connections, and I am age 52. The makeup of the respondents showed that there were 5 people who were in the age range of 28 to 37, 3 people in the age range of 38 to 47, 9 people who were in the range of 48 to 57, 1 person who was 58 or above. There were 10 African Americans, 5 Caucasians, and 3 who did not respond to the race question. The following 3 slides will share the results of my survey and other findings, as well as 2 infographics that will detail aspects of my findings. In addition to other findings previously reported, there were 64.2% of the participants who would almost always consider hiring an independent caterer. There were 74 who ranged in the area of occasional to always ordering food online. 1 person agreed that they would like social media visibility for their catering opportunities. 100% of participants have attended catered events. 28% have attended at least 1 to 5 events. 7% have attended 11 to 20 events. 65% of the participants have attended more than I can count. 3 out of 18 expressed loyalty to a particular catering service. Infographic number 1 is titled Meet Mashari's Target Audience. It offers a brief statistical description of Mashari's target audience. Infographic number 2 is entitled Research Method for Mashari's Survey. Obviously, it describes the research theory and the approach that I used to design the survey. After all of the research and all of the survey data collection and analysis, there are 2 questions that I ask myself at this point. The first question is, what will I do with this information? I plan to take full advantage of the low social media interactivity that's present in this primary geographic target area for the catering industry. And this area, of course, is Columbia, South Carolina, and neighboring cities and towns. I intend to implement a very high social media content with calls to actions and related post sharing and comments made to other open social media areas that would tie back into my client's social media presence. I would also be advising my client to implement, and I will be doing the same, more videos rather than just still pictures that create a more participatory feeling or behavior with clients. They're more prone to respond emotionally and respond in kind on social media. The second question is, what are my steps for my next primary research? Again, I would look at what I've accumulated in this research. I can see that the influence of my age being the distributor of the survey had a lot, I feel, has a lot to do with the age range of the participants. So, in order to make it more equal among the distribution, I'm going to create a team of survey distributors online who fall in each age range. And depending on how many I can get to help me with this, it'll be one in each age range or two in each age range, but it will all be equal. And those that are distributing the survey will not be participating in the survey. They will simply host on schedule the sending out or the posting of the survey at different times. I find it also interesting that there is such a gap in the communication online about catering. So, 5 of the questions that I'll be asking in the second survey will include: does EWOM, which is electric word of mouth, have impact on you and your peers? Another question is, do you engage with food service businesses on social media? I did ask that previously about catering, but I'm curious to know how they feel about engaging with more traditional lines of food chains or anything of that nature. Another question is, what catering or food topics would you like to have shared on social media? What special contest offers would influence your engagement? Do you participate in product service referrals on social media? So I will do a survey which would consist of more questions asking the audience what is it they would like to see in regards to this. And that's how I will focus that following research. The benefit to establishing a strong, relatable presence on social media is that my client will have a pivotal opportunity to become more amenable to the target group without alienating other age groups. So even though we have a target audience, when it's on social media, what my previous study has shown is that it doesn't alienate anybody. Thank you.